Loser goes home with a bagel. Team Liquid on one side, Surgical Goblin, Diego B, Igor, and Canario. It's been the Igor story for Team Liquid most of the way through this one. He really has been phenomenal. On the other side, talking about the young player making. Speaking of young players, check this out. Bringing out the young guns for this one. Bag in the mix for Tribe Gaming today. Very interesting leading things off for Tribe. Got to wonder which of the two players you don't see, Azelius or Buffmac, is taking a seat for this match.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see new players hop in the lineup, maybe a little bit of strategy, so there's no great scouting answers. Oh my goodness, I'm playing Bag in the first set. I thought I'd be playing Buffmac right now. So it could be one of those surprise factors going out with Bag here to start off. But yeah, it's interesting to see who we'll see in the next set.
Yeah, it is 4 active players on the roster each day, so the big question is, will it be Azelius sitting or will it be Buffmac sitting? Buffmac's the biggest star at the moment, but has also had one of the roughest win rates of the entire NoTilt league, so maybe taking a break for a match, we'll see. Wallbreakers in left-hand lane for Bag. Igor just goes ahead and eats them. So the American out to a slight lead here in the opening minute.
Going with that Ice Golem Bats push, no zap in hand. Posed a little bit of damage on that tower, bringing it down under 2,000. Lumberjack hacking away as well, going to get one shot on that tower, reclaiming the lead.
So Bag choosing to load up here. Goes Mini P.E.K.K.A high in front of the Musketeer. Wanted to keep that Muskie alive, but easy pickings there on the opposite direction. And now they come out pretty even on Elixir as we go into double Elixir time. It is Igor ahead by almost 400 HP as Bag splits Wallbreakers at the bridge. Chachi, looking at this matchup between these two, any thoughts on advantage as we get into double Elixir?
Yeah, just looking at it from just a paper standpoint, you'd think Igor would have a pretty hard time connecting a tower with Mega Knight in the hand of Bag as well as Mini P.E.K.K.A. Right now, Igor getting some solid damage. He does have a faster cycle, but right now, I would say Bag has the deck advantage.
Miner goes into the safe spot. Easy pick up there by the Lumberjack. And now throwing the Ice Golem in front for a nice little counter push. And so with that, Bag switches lanes. And a Miner into the outside one more time. So despite no troop to pull the Miner, Bag keeps going to that safe spot over and over again.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a reverse psychology. Oh, you think I'm going to switch spots? Now I'm going to go right back to the same spot. And with that Mega Knight down, you'd think that a Ram Rider could be coming out here. Igor has only been using that Ram Rider on defense, so we'll see if he goes with it again here. Pull this Mega Knight.
Inferno Dragon does live for quite a while, but to finally finish off the job with a little bit of help. Igor putting together a beauty of a push on the left-hand lane. Raged up Ram Rider does connect, Miner to the back this time. Wallbreaker's right-hand side. Igor goes Barb Barrel Snowball, so spends 4 on that defense. 4 well spent. Still slightly behind is the Team Liquid rookie. Here we go, triple Elixir coming. And splitting lanes right now is Bag. Does get a connection left-hand lane.
I do like the switches from Bag here, trying to keep it a little bit unpredictable, as well as being able to get those wall breakers. No great answers for those wall breakers for Igor. He has to either spend that bar barrel, but if he splits them, he can't get both of them with that bar barrel, so he'd have to be forced to use some other Elixir investment. And Wallbreaker almost going to connect to that right-hand side, but Snowball going to come out to help stop him.
Logan with a Let's Go Tribe, but what up, Rich? $5 to support the No-Till League. Thank you very much, Logan. Here we are in the final 30 seconds. Wallbreakers connect left-hand lane. Bag putting a hurt on Igor, but Igor now with a second Inferno Dragon down. Mega Knight comes in response to the Ram Rider. Can she break through? Mini P.E.K.K.A behind. Does not get through. A second Ram Rider coming, though, with the burn from the Inferno Dragon down. Raged up by the Lumberjack. Bats trying to hold on here. Ram Rider does connect. Poison is in. Oh my word,
Oh my.
Igor gonna steal this one from Bag. Oh my word. For a Jupiter reverse sweep, so we'll see if it gets there. His teammate TNT would love to spare him the need. TNT against Igor next. TNT, of course, been around for a very, very long time in competitive play. This will be his 4th season in CRL when it starts later this month after 3 seasons in CRL Asia with OGN Entis, where he put up a lifetime win rate of 64%. And of course, that fall 2018 season where he had the best overall win rate in all of CRL Asia at a whopping 73% clip.
That's just crazy to think about it. Beating 73% of the players you verse. It's just crazy, especially how high level gameplay all these players are. It's pretty crazy to go 50-50, but 73%, that's just crazy.
Well, let me add to that there, Chachi. He didn't play in that rookie season until the 6th week. So didn't play until week 6 and still posted the top win rate over 22 games.
Yeah, it's just insane that someone could do that with such little time to put it together with so many games. I mean, I'm not trying to flex or anything, but 100% win rate, but if you only play one game, I mean, that's another story.
So here we go. You can see the chat getting excited for this one. What you wanted to see, Igor playing Mortar. Now here's the big question for Tribe is, Igor is known for playing Mortar in game number 2, just like Lapacati does. A lot of guys going to their comfort deck in this once they get one win under their belt. TNT with the Goblin Cage and the EQ and the... It seems like TNT was pretty ready for this matchup.
Yeah, Igor using his newly found deck. I've tried this deck out a couple times in a few grand challenges. Really like it. Doesn't seem to have too many bad matchups. Always has good answers for anything. And right now, even with a Mega Knight and Hogs all going to his tower, Igor is able to clean it up pretty nicely.
And TNT with a nice pickup there, knowing that that Mortar would retarget to tower during that break between the Goblin Cage and the Goblin Brawler, so E-Wiz there to get the retarget. And now Pigs into that same opposite lane one more time. That's going to be a -1 trade for Igor every time, so TNT for the moment's happy to let that happen.
Yeah, and if I'm TNT, I'm spamming Royal Hogs at the bridge, getting that +1 trade every single time I can. Igor obviously has that Tornado. He could get a King Tower activation, but probably won't want to take that damage unless he splits his Hogs for some odd reason.
And King's already up.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
There was the NATO earlier. On the it was on the Mega Knight.
Oh, yeah, that's where it was. I was going to say, I didn't see a NATO as that Ice Spirit pull. That's right.
So more pressure on from TNT. Mortar high now, trying to maybe find a gap here and provide some defense against the Pigs, but this is just a tough one for Igor all the way around. Lots of ways to keep that Mortar from getting target on tower, not to mention the EQ making things difficult as well. Magic Arch, you can see chipping away from a distance. Second Mortar down for Igor in the right-hand lane, and Mega Knight to pick it up.
Yeah, if I'm Igor here, I'm trying to get to that triple elixir phase, and then I'm going to start to spell cycle, throw in those rockets, try to get that damage. That Magic Archer doing so much work. You know, 529 that left-hand lane.
And this is the danger, and we see that tower down left-hand side. Giant Slayer coming out for Team Liquid. Canario has spent all of his time in professional Clash Royale with Team Liquid. Or not all of his time, 3 seasons, now coming up on his 4th. In CRL, his first season with G2 Esports back in 2018, where, again, talk about astounding win rates. 75% win rate for Canario in that first season of CRL EU. 75% win rate, and that's in 44 games played.
Shoo!
A lot of that was an
Crazy.
81% win rate in the 1v1 sets. Pretty much personally put G2 into the playoffs.
Yeah, he definitely put their team on their back, helped them carry, and that's why Team Liquid swooped them up. That following season, they saw the potential in Canario and definitely paid dividends. He's a beast of a player, and they're glad to have him on the team.
Yeah, since Team Liquid snatched up Canario, he and Surgical Goblin have become very, very close friends. You can see them even talk about it a little bit on Twitter here and there. Close friends, close teammates. They've put together a CRL West Championship, a CRL West runner-up, a World Cyber Games Championship, and, of course, a CRL World Championship as well. So they've done a lot together.
And it's actually really interesting because I remember talking to Surgical Goblin in Season 1, and they really weren't a big fan of 2v2, but now you see them as their 2v2 specialists for Team Liquid. They experimented a little bit in Season 1 and finally found their grip Season 2, 3. So it's pretty interesting how people could change their minds so quickly, but when you find that good partner, that's when things change.
Sparky goes left-hand lane. We'll see if this Royal Giant is as impressive today as it was yesterday. Had some great outings. Of course, this is a challenging matchup. Goblin Giant does not connect. RG right-hand lane. Bat zapped off, and RG does get one shot. Two firecrackers down for TNT again, keeping it real stacked right now. And Canario now going to the right-hand lane with Sparky. For those of you asking who's on voice with me right now, that would be Chachi, former Complexity Esports Pro, giving some extra analysis on the day. Kenzo, thank you for the follow over on MadCat. Look at all this rage on the right-hand side. Mini P.E.K.K.A does get on tower, and this is the danger in this deck, no matter how well you're doing. A raged-up Mini P.E.K.K.A, like, very specifically, not just the rage overall, and that does...
None left.
Here we go, Game 4. Canario with a chance to close things out for Team Liquid. Jupiter King with that insanely impressive 19-6 record on the season. The reason why Team Liquid is where they are, or why Tribe Gaming is where they are right now. Finishing that regular season with a 76% win rate. And you can see why Tribe Gaming is so pumped about this young man. He was phenomenal for South Korea and NoTilt Worlds as well.
And it's always interesting to see as the season progresses who the breakout players are going to be. There's always seems to be one player from each season who breaks out, or two or three, but it seems like Jupiter King is having his fun here in the NoTilt.
Joining me on voice right now, for those of you who are wondering in the YouTube or MadCat, I think all knows it on YouTube, that's Chachi. Here's his link for his YouTube page. Go ahead and sub to Chachi. Give him a little bit of love there, as he's going to be joining us for last game and for the rest of this match, and then we'll go off and enjoy a happy Mother's Day. So a slow start here again. All we've seen is a cycled snowball here from Jupiter.
It's always interesting to see what players do when they just wait for this 2 minutes to run out. Like, I know some players, they'll spam emotes. Other players, they're very serious. Some will just look around, think about life, and it's just always so fun to wait this 2 minutes, especially as a caster.
Someone saying that Jupiter King got lucky for South Korea and NoTilt Worlds. I'm going to guess that you were a Colombian fan, maybe, because Jupiter King was phenomenal at NoTilt Worlds. Some of the moves that he put down were beautiful. Some very, very high-level defensive plays, able to keep himself and his team in the mix. So maybe seeing the same RG deck from Canario that we saw earlier today. Air Surfer did very well with this one. We'll see if this is that same construction. We do have the Ice Wiz. Do have the Baby Dragon. Do have the Lightning.
Probably that Bomb Tornado is the last two cards. Canario here Well, who knows? Maybe it's Rocket and Lightning and Rage. Who knows?
So we'll see if it is NATO for that last piece. Second Ice Whiz down, slowing things way down, and here comes the Graveyard from Jupiter King. NATO does hold things back for just a moment, keeping stuff from getting too much tankage. 1834 left-hand lane, and now a Royal Giant down for Canario. Thank you, Chuck.
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. I was saying that RG at the bridge is honestly a really good sign for Jupiter King. You want him to push into you so you can, especially if you have that Night Witch building up at the back, you can get that decent push coming down. But this Ice Wiz NATO Baby Dragon combo just so annoying to get through here. We saw in that last one game went the full distance. It looks like this game may very well go the full distance as well, even though there's a couple more RGs coming down on the field than that previous game with this deck.
Lightning in, not enough to make room for that RG at that point. Final minute, 10 seconds. Triple Elixir on its way. Chachi, who do you give the advantage to in triple?
I think in triple Elixir, honestly, Jupiter King pull out ahead with these graveyards. If he can just get one to connect and get a little bit of damage, that's all he really needs. One good graveyard and triple Elixir, you can really start to throw those down.
This one getting a couple of shots in here. RG going the opposite direction. Jupiter does have plenty of Elixir to contend with this one. We'll see if he can create a counter push here. Lightning does not get the Musketeer, so that's good. Oh, nice NATO from Canario to the opposite lane. Baby Dragon trying to make a push. 343 left-hand side. And now Jupiter King in race mode, trying to see if he can beat this out and get damage on that tower in time. I don't believe it's going to be enough. Can it be enough? Lightning gets to the 36 HP. The NATO does it for Canario. Performance thing, if it's a, an argument with the coach. I have no idea what it is. I do know that Buffmac prefers to train on his own, and that Sean Kim is a little more hands-on. So maybe there's some challenges learning to get their rhythm in sync and get Buffmac playing it at his best. We'll see, how that gets itself ready for CRL West when it comes around. But a big part of it is figuring out how to match the style of your player with the style that the team and the coach is going for, and that's part of Team Liquid's success. Is that Eric Benamou is a perfect match for Team Liquid. He has the right mentality. He's got the right personality for it. He and Team Liquid meld very well. Sean Kim, a great coach. Buffmac, a great player. The big question is, can they come together to make a great team?
Yeah, even though this game is really individually based, at least in this set, with 1v1s, King of the Hills, it's still that collaboration. You got to get that team vibe, be able to help each other out. So if you're more of a individual person and don't like to talk to that team, that can hurt you out in the long run here. So we will never know, but we can guess.
Oh, look at that. The NoTilt in the YouTube chat doing a giveaway. To participate, subscribe, like, comment on who you think will win, and participate for a pass at 1,200 likes. So at 1,200 likes, there will be a giveaway of the season pass. That's pretty cool. So GY for Azilius, he's been liking this GY deck lately. Saw this a couple times yesterday. And Minor Loon with Archers for Diego B as opposed to Minor Musk Loon. So a little different look here from the Team Liquid player. And Kelly, thanks for joining us. Subbed and modded over on the Mad Cat chat.
Yeah, and Archers is just an interesting variation of this deck. A little more spell resistant, I guess. You don't really want to fireball or poison Archers. This is a negative elixir trade every time, but Arrow's creeping a little more in the meta, but maybe Azilius thinking that Azilius thinking Diego wouldn't run the Musketeer or the Firecracker. Not going to run those arrows.
Mine at the back does connect for Diego. And Royal Delivery does, I believe, keep that out of death damage range. Yep, just by a half tile. Azilius does have a few good tools for these balloons, between the Goblin Cage to pull and then the Royal Delivery to knock it back a little bit with the arrows and Mega Minion. But so far it's been a little frustrating for him. Miner gets on one more time, not quite able to get around quickly enough for the pickup.
Yeah, he had the right spot there, just not enough time to get that Dark Prince down to tank for that Miner. Here we go with that graveyard push. Those archers in the back going to be there for a little bit, able to clean up a lot of these skeletons, staying alive for a pretty long time in that poison.
288 right-hand side. Diego B only has the snowball for direct damage. Balloon in. Ice Golem doing a little bit of tankage here for the balloon for a moment. Miner goes to the outside. And that Miner really has been just detrimental to the hopes of the Frenchman. Here he goes for a graveyard opposite lane. Snowball down, 8 HP. All he needs to do is defend here for Diego B and cycle one more time. And that could be a GG. Well played. Some skeletons get on tower. Not going to be enough. Brawler goes across the bridge. Not going to be enough. Diego gives the good game. Snowball down. Season pass. And Ewiz to take care of the skeleton barrel. So Bag getting double duty today. We'll see if this pays off for Tribe.
I was going to say, getting him a couple reps here. The no-tilt.
Diego going double bait. We haven't seen a lot of it this week since the new meta shift, but certainly still has the ability to stretch its opponent thin. And Ewiz not in cycle, Snowball not in cycle. Diego B, good recognition there with the skeleton barrel. Gets a nice chunk of damage early.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't see as much log bait or these Skelly Barrel double bait decks, because no real cards got nerfed in the deck in this last balance change. Bomb Tower is still really strong. Skelly Barrel didn't get changed, which I thought it may get changed. And that Mega Knight clobbering down, doing a ton of damage, bringing it down to 1204.
So here we go, a full push from Diego in the opposite direction now. Snowball does a little bit of work here, but this Knight should escape. Nothing, not enough elixir here. Night Witch has to come down, and that's the best option for Bag in the moment. Not a great option. Dark Goblin will get a couple of shots on the right-hand side, 994. Diego B takes back the lead after giving it away to that Mega Knight. So looking at Diego's deck here, playing this double bait. Some difficult choices trying to defend against the Mega Knight graveyard when it comes in together. What do you think about this matchup here, Chachi?
Yeah, I think Bag is definitely going to have that advantage once double elixir comes down, which it did just right now. That Mega Knight, they only really have that Knight as a good tankage, as well as that Bomb Tower. And if Bag can get the poison down on the Dark Goblin, there's really not a great answer for that graveyard. You can see that tower is going to fall here for Diego. Bag trying to defend this one, 54 HP. It looks like his tower is going to fall too. And a two-tower game, obviously graveyard bait. Neither of them have a real great advantage come double elixir time, but still I got to give the advantage to Bag here as double elixir unfolds.
Yeah, this is an interesting question now because, you know, graveyard has to contend with a King Tower activation. Same thing for bait as well, but bait also now can't spread the field thin the same way as it might in a two-tower game or in a three-tower game. Skeleton Barrel in early.
And there's no real threat of a 3-crown possibility coming in for bait. Graveyard, there could be if you want to get a little risky, but realistically, you're not going to go for that 3 crowns. Both players going to be going in the same lane, and that's why Graveyard works out really well, because you're looking for that counter push potential.
Bats tank a little bit there, but don't get much. Right now, Diego B in the lead, 90 seconds remaining, going with the full push here. And Mega Knight does get a good timing for Bag. And he sets up the Goblin Cage.
I like the patience from Bag here. Loading up with the Goblin Cage. Mega Knight will take care of that Bomb Tower, so that's one less thing to worry about. And then he could really just start to load up those support troops and go Graveyard, and then a Mega Knight possibly in the pocket, or a Baby Dragon to tank.
So Mega Knight is tanking nicely here for a moment. We'll see if Bag can get a good chunk and defend at the same time, and that's the hard part here, is doing both of those at once. Diego still keeping him stretched pretty thin. Final 40 seconds. Bomb tower in on defense. Bag cycles Mega Knight way in the back. Diego leaking a little bit here. Just trying to get that bomb tower out of the way right now is Bag. No more damage from that skeleton barrel. Graveyard in. Ewiz in the pocket on that Dart Goblin. Not able to do enough. Snowball makes a little bit more room, but Skeleton's getting on tower now. Bag gets that left-hand tower down to 1361. Poison in as well. Baby Dragon gets on tower. Bag's going to take this one. Bag's going to take this one. No, it's the Rocket. The Rocket's going to... No! Wow! Next one, Surgical Goblin and Bag.
There's just so much disappointment in Diego's eyes right now. He's like, how did that happen? Oh my goodness. I'd be so frustrated. It's just like that key example. You're just like, I can't believe I just did that. But you did. Oh
my God.
A letter apologizing for that Rocket.
That Rocket should apologize to Diego. My lord.
Now, Chief Pat may miss rockets, but Diego's just doesn't reach the ground. I don't know how that's possible, but it just doesn't. So,
well, guys, it's Golem versus Lava Hound for this game. Let's just, I don't know, watch it, I guess, after that.
That's just so wild.
Lava Miner Barbs, Goblin Cage for Surgical Goblin.
Those Barbarians getting eaten up by that poison and that Golem death damage.
So this is kind of a classic matchup here. I mean, you have a little bit of changes with the Goblin Cage on both sides. But, you know, Golem versus Lava Miner. Give me your thoughts on this one, Chachi.
Yeah, the two heavy beatdown decks, Lava Hound and Golem, the two most expensive beatdown cards in the game. Definitely, if I'm in this matchup, I want to be the Golem player. You're a little more tanky. Plus his support cards, he has that Lumberjacks for the possibility of a Rage behind. And who knows, maybe Bag's last card is a clone. You never know, but probably not.
Takes a bit of burn there on the left-hand side from the GOAT.
And Bag's able to just get around these Barbarians. He still has to deal with the Inferno Dragon up high, but the Barbarians are his most worrisome card going on offense here, because that Bandit and anything else he puts behind it will just get evaporated by the Barbs, because no Fireball for Bag here.
So Lava Hound down, Inferno Dragon stays alive, two Baby Dragons. Real Delivery breaks it up for a moment, but Surge starting to build up a bit of a momentum here in the opposite direction. Miner goes to the back this time, Inferno Dragon to help.
Just slowly chipping his way through. That Lava Hound does sneakily a lot of damage when it's in its Fat Boy form. And then those Lava Puffs doing a lot more damage as well. They got kind of a rework situation out of it. The range, nerf, but damage DPS buff. And here we go with that Golem push.
So Lumberjack goes to the Miner, does not sneak all the way through. Inferno Dragon gets on the Miner, not on the Golem, so that's going to help out Bag a little bit. Bandit behind Golem will get the tower and get some death damage. Poison into support as well. Now Baby Dragon trying to make a move, and this is going to be a lot of damage on that left-hand tower. 832. Bag now trying to put the pressure on here, see if he can sneak one by Surgical Goblin, but plenty of Elixir to defend that with the Goblin Cage, and of course the Inferno Dragon stays alive. 352 left-hand lane. Bag in the lead, has to give one more good defense to take this game from Surge.
He needs two poisons here to finish off this game. So he just has to pull through one more time on defense and could use this triple elixir cycle to get around real quick.
Miner goes into the front this time. Lumberjack tries to protect to the back, doesn't get it. Poison and Snowball in, trying to do some more damage for Surgical Goblin. Surgical Goblin, though, could get around fairly quickly if Bag is not careful here. 302 on the tower. Bag needs one more poison. How fast can he get there? Miner does not get picked up by that Bandit. Poison in for Surgical Goblin. Snowball in for Surge, and he takes the game.
Miner poison comes in and is gone. So if you would have caught one of those miners, you would have probably been able to pull it off there.
Jupiter again, the last guy up for Tribe Gaming. The entire season for Tribe hanging on the shoulders of Jupiter King, the top win rate in the regular season. Can he turn it into victories here when his team needs him the most?
Really surprised to see an early Graveyard out here from Surgical Goblin. Normally you don't see Graveyards go in single elixir, especially on that first push, unless you see something you really like. So we'll have to see here what Surge is seeing. And Jupiter King run those Hogs EQ deck. Goblin Cage doesn't give too much value for that EQ, but still going to get a nice damage lead here for Jupiter King.
Magic Archer not quite able to connect, but first minute away, Jupiter King, as my co-caster Chachi said, definitely in a solid lead here. Surgical Goblin sets up the Dark Prince in the back. Mega Knight in response for Jupiter. So Surge going Musky GY. Splash Yard definitely took a big L with the update, changing a lot of those splash troops. Not to mention the welcome death of the Goblin Hut. But GY Musky is one of the decks that has survived. Slightly different. You can see with the Goblin Cage here, but definitely now more in the mix for Graveyard than Splash Yard is at the moment. Pigs in for Jupiter King.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how the decks evolve as the meta pushes on. You're like, oh, Graveyard's dead. No, I'll just replace the Baby Dragon with a Mega Minion and throw in the Musketeer if like one of my cards get nerfed. It's always interesting to see like versatile win conditions that are always in the meta, no matter how much of the support cards get nerfed. You just always see a different
Surgical Goblin trying to play some defense here, but getting spread really thin, super low on Elixir. EQ in, Snowball trying to mix things up a bit, but those Hogs are going to go for a dinner on the left-hand side. Magic Archer cannot quite get tower down yet, and there you go. Tower down left-hand side, Surgical Goblin pushing the right-hand lane. 10 seconds left, but that's not going to be enough. Jupiter King needed 2 to do it, now just needs 1. Big-time win for the rookie. We're going to game number 5. Jupiter King versus King and Canario. Does Team Liquid close things out now, or does Jupiter King send us to the 1v1? Let's go! So a little small cycle here to open things up. Jupiter King going Heal Spirit and Log.
Now, it'd be really funny if Jupiter King blocks his Heal Spirit with Skeletons. Just be like, we got the same cards, homie. Doesn't seem like it is, though.
So Jupiter King might be going Lumberloon Heal with this look. Canario looking like he's going Royal Giant. So probably should expect to see the Royal Delivery in that as well. And yes, it does feel like Lumberloon Heal is the ticket here for Jupiter King. So Lumberjack can certainly melt that Royal Giant. Delivery should come in here for Canario. Does get a little bit of knockback, but I don't know how much it'll do against the Rage. And Snowball in for one more shot. Jupiter King taking tower in the opening minutes. Well, he'll need a log, but you get the idea.
It's almost dead.
It's almost dead. It is dead. It's loggable.
Yes. And yeah, that's one of those problems about going in really aggressive single elixir against Lumberloon Balloon with the heal. Is they can just put it on you and one Heal Spirit. Not going to get there, not going to take it out. I guess it'll have to be snowballed or logged sooner or later.
So Canario sets up for the Royal Giant on the right-hand side. And the hard thing for Jupiter King is nothing really phenomenal for stopping the Royal Giant. The Lumberjack can certainly melt it, but Lumberjack's not going to just be playing all on its own. EQ in on the Goblin Cage. Now a pretty healthy counter push here. Snowman will do the left-hand side.
He says hi to the tower, moving on towards that King Tower. Doing his business, cleaning up 24 HP off that Princess Tower.
This is actually big. The Goblin Cage for Jupiter King changes this matchup drastically. The Bats version of this would be in a lot of trouble. But the Goblin Cage version means he has a way to pull that Royal Giant, not to mention that once that Goblin Brawler pops with the Lumberjack Rage, it, as you saw there, just destroys this Royal Giant. So Jupiter King going with a newer variation of this Lumberloon heal deck, and that little switch making all the difference in this matchup. That's going to be a GG, well played. We're going to the 1v1.
We got our wishes. No better way to finish off this.
And people asking,
like
the payouts go on PayPal for people who win the money on that tournament, guys. Previous winners were Mini Minter, Wallace, and Pompeo just won the last one. And Jupiter King throws out, whoa, so you think, hey, that's a BM NATO, but it actually does tower damage.
Yeah, I was still not used to it doing damage, so I was like, man, I don't know if that's just a sneaky cycle or what. Maybe trying to catch Surge, not looking at his phone for a second, miss out that 3 elixir NATO. Surge seemingly doesn't care about it, and it goes in with a Sparky in the back.
Goblin Giant Sparky left-hand lane, Wallbreakers Miner right-hand lane. Wallbreakers will connect, but Surgical Goblin loading up. It is the Rage version. Poison to help. And that's going to be a connection on the left-hand side. Jupiter King really not much left for. Has to NATO one more time. And they come out pretty even from that, but Surgical Goblin up by about 3 elixir.
And that elixir lead, Surge is going to have to cycle at least one more card here to be able to get back to that Sparky in hand. So Jupiter King not too far down here, but definitely not liking how he took that Sparky shot.
Miner in right-hand lane one more time. Goes to the back. Easy pickup for Surge there with the mini P.E.K.K.A. And Jupiter King has to spend those skellies or something. Goes ahead and goes Bomb Tower instead, so still takes a shot from the mini P.E.K.K.A. Goes Wallbreaker's opposite direction and does not get a connection, so that whole sequence goes pretty poorly for the Tribe rookie. Sparky does not connect, and you see Wallbreakers there trying to stop the Sparky just in case. Does get one connection. Really difficult spot here for Jupiter King. What, if anything, can he do to try to get this one back here, Chachi?
He's just got to be patient, try to see if Surge will make a mistake. Going the Goblin Giant in the right-hand lane with the Sparky in the left. Kind of a curious decision. This may be where Jupiter King can take advantage here. But should be seeing that Rage come down this right-hand lane with this Goblin Giant Spark or mini P.E.K.K.A. Chooses not to. Good NATO there. Just needs to try to stack a couple of Magic Archers down and then get a decent push with a Miner and some Wallbreakers, and he should be back in this game.
Miner in, Wallbreakers connect. 9:59 left-hand side. Zap not enough to stop that one. So with that, Jupiter King does have the lead here in sudden death overtime. How does he contend with what we expect is to be incoming a Rage behind all of this, potentially poisoned down? Nice surround with the Skellies here. And Jupiter King holding on in a difficult one. And a nice NATO here from Jupiter King. Connection on that side, but how is he going to defend against this Musketeer and Sparky going left?
Pretty brutal there on that left-hand side. That Sparky going to get caught by those skeletons again. Wallbreakers to tank there. Just kite into that Miner, just beaming his shovel against that tower down to 498.
Jupiter King playing a gem of a game right now. Sparky in left-hand lane. I mean, not Sparky. Goblin Giant in left-hand lane. You do see the Rage coming on in. Heal Spirit trying to help. Miner goes to the back. Mini P.E.K.K.A. does not pick it up. Wallbreakers go to the front. Wallbreakers connect. Jupiter King wins this one. Into that 4,500.
Yeah, and just messing up a cycle can be so difficult for your opponent, because then if you're playing a heavier deck like Surge was with the Goblin Giant Sparky, you're trying to get that big, beefy push with that Goblin Giant Sparky, mini P.E.K.K.A. and maybe Minions Rage all going at that tower. But they throw in Miner Wallbreakers, you got to defend it. Otherwise, that's going to be a huge chunk of damage off on the tower. So wasn't able to build up that huge push, and Jupiter King able to clean it up. Here we go, game number 2.
Surge may be running it back here. You can see those minions. Muskie does not get a shot, and there you go. Surge is going same way again. EU is for Jupiter King. Possibly. No, never mind. And Jupiter King can definitely play Clash Royale, huh?
Oh, yeah. He's been pretty flawless. Now you really can't say, oh, he's getting lucky. He's been doing it consistently now. Just absolutely establishing dominance on everybody.
Sparky gonna connect on this one, and that's just brutal on the right-hand side.
Sparky could get another shot, but Ewis comes down just in time to save it.
So that was wild. Chachi, talk me through that sequence a little bit.
Yeah, so that Sparky is able to clean up not a beautiful defense from Jupiter King that time. That Magic Archer got taken out, and he kind of tried to defend it a little bit too much, and that's when he got caught off guard and was able to build up. Surge was able to build up that bigger push in that right-hand lane, and Jupiter King just no elixir, no way to defend it. Lost his tower there.
So Rage in now. Mega Knight goes high to deal with the Sparky rather than throwing the E-Wiz into that big pool of Rage one more time. And with the final 26 seconds left, Jupiter is going heavy on the right-hand side now, trying to find some way to get enough damage done, but doesn't seem like there's enough time for him to both get damage done and play any sort of defense. We're going to go to game 3, folks.
Yeah, this game, once that first tower dropped, there was really no way that Jupiter King was going to get in unless a huge misplay came out from Surgical Goblin, like a Sparky at the bridge for no reason.
The greatest of all time. It's maybe the best right now, in this exact moment.
Get a little bit of minor chip here to open things up for Jupiter King. Jupiter King really liking that minor. He's in a lot of his decks here today.
And look at this, Surge going Lumberloon. So taking a page from his opponent's book, going with the same deck that Jupiter ran in the first game. And does get a connection despite the snowball. It's in a half step late.
That snowball not blocking that balloon are really going to hurt throughout the game here, because that's a total game changer.
One and Muskie connects as well. Oh my word.
Yikes.
Big yikes here. Surgical Goblin getting aggressive early and taking a massive lead in the opening minute. Jupiter King going to get some chip back the other direction, but oh my word. Jupiter making two kind of maybe nervous, everything's on the line kind of mistakes.
Yeah, definitely uncharacteristic mistakes, going with late snowball and allowing a Musketeer to connect that tower. And looks like this balloon's probably going to connect as well. Snowball is trying to block it. Is going to get that damage down, but no connection. Keeping him having some hope to get back in this game right now.
Yeah, pretty healthy Lava Hound on the right-hand side. Jupiter King going to poison off that Muskie. That's the right move. And after that Muskie goes down, not much there. Miner comes in, does tank for a few of these, even with the snowball coming in. So this is a good moment for Jupiter King. That tower is going to go down, and despite the early struggles, Jupiter King looking okay here as we go into double elixir.
And also no Lumberjack in hand for Surgical Goblin used on defense for that Miner means no Lumberjack Rage Balloon push coming in. Looks like Jupiter King is going to take full advantage here, going with a Lava Hound right in the pocket, but just an Inferno Dragon coming from behind.
Inferno Dragon in. Miner runs right into that Lumberjack. And that's going to be a raged up balloon opposite direction. Goblin Cage will get down, but look at that. Musketeer goes right to the Goblin Cage. No death damage, though, here. Surgical Goblin ahead on Elixir, but a ton on the board here for the South Korean player. Miner goes to the back this time. Lumberjack picks it up perfectly. Brawler goes back to assist. 2 Baby Dragons down for Jupiter King. Final 2 minutes of sudden death overtime. And look at that. The Barbs come out with a nice pickup there to not quite get enough to keep the Baby Dragon alive. You see the idea that Jupiter was going for, but couldn't preserve it. And now Lumberjack, Musketeer, Balloon going the opposite direction. Miner to the Musketeer here. Is there a snowball available defensively? Snowball offensively. Balloon, is it going to connect? And it does not. 1443. That's about as close as a balloon can get on the left-hand side. Jupiter King just holding on right now against Surgical Goblin. Getting ready for that final minute. Triple Elixir coming, and Surgical Goblin keeping the pressure on relentlessly. Barbs down high to worry about whatever's happening up at that bridge. And this balloon not going to connect, but Surge will be back to another balloon very, very quickly. He can get around so fast right now. Lava Hound in the pocket. This is what Jupiter King was hoping to pull off here, but this is dangerous. This is certainly dangerous. But with the balloon not in cycle at the moment, this is the time when Jupiter King can go for it.
A bit of a misplay there, going the Miner on the Musketeer when you know it's going to get picked up by that Lumberjack. Allowing for this nice raged balloon to come out on this left-hand lane, and is it going to be able to get some death damage here is the question. Looks like it's going to be extremely close, and it does get that damage. That Lava Hound in the pocket, though, could be a great little damage dealer, getting Jupiter King back in this lead.
Lumberjack gets picked up by the Barbs. Jupiter King in the lead for the moment. Balloon now going the opposite direction. Second rage down. Jupiter King needs to stop this one in order to stay alive here. 45 HP. Poison could be enough to do it. Surge going opposite direction. Jupiter King throws a snowball in. Miner gets on tower. 33 HP. Poison is in. Jupiter King gets the win. Oh my god.